Ambercott stated this: "I think we control the controllables." Fever general manager Ambercott said, "You are start prepping for obviously the college season, for what's going on internationally, planning out our scouting." Now, it sounds like they are introducing a scouting department for overseas players. Now, from my understanding, they did not have an overseas scouting department. Now, both domestically and internationally, we are talking to all players, doing exit interviews, obviously focus on developmental plans to finding out what their needs are and how we can support them. So really, just focus on what we can control, and as things roll out, we'll be ready to go. The biggest thing planned.
All right, buckle up, because what just came out of the Indiana Fever front office is nothing short of game-changing. We're talking about a complete roster overhaul that could take this team from playoff hopefuls to full-blown championship contenders. Amber Cox, the Fever's general manager, just unveiled their blueprint for the 2026 season, and honestly, it's wild. We're talking aggressive overseas scouting, potential superstar signings, and a bold new strategy that could either cement the Caitlin Clark era or blow it up entirely. But here's the real kicker. Time is running out. The Halloween deadline for the new CBA agreement is just 2 weeks away, meaning everything could shift overnight. And get this, the Fever currently have only 3 players under contract: Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and DeWanna Bonner. That's it. Everyone else? Totally up in the air. So when Amber Cox stepped to the mic and started outlining the Fever's next big move, every fan, analyst, and rival GM was locked in. Because what happens next could redefine the entire WNBA landscape.
The biggest storyline going into this offseason is going to be Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever 2026 team. How is they going to build this team to be a super team? I told you, I'm sick of playing. We need to damn near solidify us a championship. We need to be up there with the likes of the Las Vegas Aces, the New York Liberty. We need superstars on this team. I'm tired of mediocre role players. We need to build around our 4 core pieces we already got and surround them.
Control the controllables. That's Amber Cox's mantra right now. And honestly, it might be the smartest possible mindset, given the absolute chaos surrounding the WNBA. But let's unpack what she actually revealed, because this is where things start to get really interesting. For the first time in franchise history, the Indiana Fever are launching a full-scale international scouting department. And if you're thinking, asterisk, wait, they didn't have that before, asterisk, you're not alone. It's wild that a team trying to build around generational talents like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston wasn't even scouting overseas. That's like trying to win a championship with one hand tied behind her back. But now that's changing in a big way. The Fever aren't just eyeing random international prospects either. They're going after Olympians, championship-tested veterans, and players who already come with massive followings. In other words, athletes who bring not just skill, but star power. Think players with Louis Vuitton-level luggage, full of experience, accolades, and a winning mentality ready to reshape Indiana basketball.
We need superstar players. This is the make or break year for the WNBA as a whole, but especially the make or break year for Caitlin Clark fandom. See, Caitlin Clark fandom was at an all-time high at 23 and 24. Certain things happened in the league that kind of derailed the Caitlin Clark hype. Well, basically derailed the Caitlin Clark effect. Hence, the WNBA pretty much letting players who saw her in year 1, that derailed it. In year 2, Stephanie White kind of taking her off the ball kind of derailed it. But more importantly, the damn WNBA referees hella derailed it. So right now, Caitlin Clark fandom is not what it used to be. Look at the jersey sales, ticket sales, and stuff like that.
And that energy right there perfectly matches what Fever fans are feeling. The patience is gone. The days of good enough are over. The Caitlin Clark era demands more than playoff appearances. It demands dominance. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one wants to admit. The Caitlin Clark effect is cooling off. Yeah, that's right. The numbers don't lie. Jersey sales have dipped. Ticket sales aren't hitting the highs of 2023 and 2024, and the once unshakable buzz has started to fade. The reasons? A mix of questionable coaching choices, inconsistent officiating, and a roster that simply hasn't been championship caliber. In her rookie season, fans watched Caitlin get roughed up nightly with little protection from referees. Then, in year 2, Stephanie White made the baffling decision to take the ball out of her hands for long stretches. Now, heading into year 3, the stakes couldn't be higher. This is the make-or-break season for the entire Caitlin Clark era, and the Fever front office knows it better than anyone.
Years, which are supermax salaries. So core is like what they did with Kelsey Mitchell last year. I'm pretty sure they're going to core her again. Say core years, which are supermax salaries in exchange for exclusive negotiation rights, could go away entirely, prioritizing which gives the WNBA priority over the league stat side and overseas alike, could become stricter or more lenient. The college draft rules could also be simplified, possibly allowing USA players to enter the WNBA without needing 4 years of college. So they can essentially try out for the team. I never knew that. See, y'all, I'm new to this. So I didn't know that you need 4 years of college to even play in the W, which is crazy.
That's the harsh reality staring the Fever in the face. They need to move fast and make every decision count. And looming over everything is the elephant in the room, the expansion draft. Not one, but two new teams are entering the WNBA in 2026, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo. If history is any indication, this could get messy. Remember the Golden State Valkyries expansion draft? The Fever lost Temi Fagbettel, and she went on to dominate in Golden State. That mistake still stings. They failed to protect the right players, and it cost them big. Now, with two expansion drafts on the horizon, the stakes are even higher. They can only protect so many players, which means valuable assets could easily get snatched. And that's exactly why the Kelsey Mitchell situation is so crucial right now.
To nearly solidify them winning a championship. I'm tired of this debating back and forth. Players this, players that, players missing shots, missing. I don't want none of that. I want Olympians, superstar players, and more importantly, experience. Now, we seen last year, they brought experienced players in like DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard showed up at times. DeWanna Bonner was just completely out of the fight. Nigga got so bad, Stephanie White had to bench her, essentially why she quit the team. Now, with that being said, we need to get some overseas players.
Did you catch that? Core designations might be disappearing altogether, and that could completely change everything for the Fever. For those unfamiliar, the core designation works like a franchise tag. It's how Indiana kept Kelsey Mitchell last season, locking her in at a supermax salary and preventing her from hitting free agency. But if that rule gets scrapped under the new CBA, Mitchell would instantly become an unrestricted free agent, free to sign with any team she wants, New York, Las Vegas, or anywhere offering a better shot at a championship. And honestly, who could blame her? Mitchell has stayed loyal to Indiana through the rebuilds and rough years. She's earned the right to explore her options. But here's where it gets interesting. Both Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull have openly said they want to return to Indiana. That's huge. Despite the chaos and uncertainty, they believe in the vision being built around Caitlin Clark. That loyalty is rare, and it's something the Fever can't afford to waste.
Dominant players. Now, we seen Emma Messerschmidt come, and she had high hopes, but fortunately, she didn't do too good with the New York Liberty, but I feel like they just had her in a totally different role. She was playing her normal role. She would have balled out with them, but that's neither here or there. But I'm telling you right now, we need to open up the recruiting for overseas players as well. But just like I stated, man, some news has come out from the Indy Star.
Exactly. This is the mindset the Fever have to embrace. No more celebrating moral victories or hiding behind. We're building something special. That era is over. It's time to win, plain and simple. And the formula for success is sitting right in front of them. Just look at Las Vegas. They surrounded Aya Wilson with proven veterans like Candace Parker and Chelsea Gray and instantly turned into a dynasty. Or take New York. They went all in, stacking their roster with Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquil Jones. Those teams didn't waste years on potential. They built juggernauts overnight. The Fever already have their franchise pillars, Caitlin Clark as the generational playmaker and Aaliyah Boston as the interior anchor. Now, it's about finishing the masterpiece. That's where overseas scouting becomes game-changing. Many of the league's top talents, like Brianna Stewart, Courtney Vandersloot, and Emma Meesman, sharpen their edge internationally. Those players bring elite basketball IQ, championship experience, and the poise the Fever desperately need to reach that next level.
Are going to navigate through the 2026 season. Instead, it's hard to know what the Indiana Fever will do this offseason. There are a lot of unknowns this season in the WNBA. all but 2 league veterans are free agents, and some will say shape or form the expansion draft is upcoming, with 2 teams, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo, slated to join in 2026. So not one team is joining this year, 2 teams. So we remember last year how it went when we lost Timmy Figman late, which was one of the worst decisions they ever.
Exactly. Emma Meesman is the perfect example of how even elite international talent can be mismanaged. She arrived in New York with sky-high expectations, but the Liberty never fully tapped into her strengths. That's the kind of mistake Indiana simply cannot afford. When the Fever bring in international players, and make no mistake, they will, those players have to be integrated strategically, not just signed for name recognition. They must fit seamlessly into a system built around Caitlin Clark's playmaking brilliance. Clark thrives when surrounded by shooters, cutters, and high IQ players who understand spacing and timing. That's where international talent shines. European basketball emphasizes ball movement, unselfishness, and fundamentals, the exact qualities that elevate Clark's game. This is why the Fever's new overseas scouting department isn't just important, it's essential. They need players who amplify Clark's vision, not overshadow it.
The planning includes making sure the players have a foundation to lean on. The Fever only have 3 players under contract: Caitlin Clark, Leah Boston, and Michaela Timpsey. Like Lexi Hall, restricted free agent, Sophie Cunningham, unrestricted free agent, have indicated their interest in returning to the Fever, and Kelsey Mitchell, unrestricted free agent, is the number 1 priority in Abercrombie's free agency, she stated.
So this just dropped from Chloe Peterson at the Indy Star literally minutes ago, and it confirms everything fans have been speculating. The Indiana Fever are deep in planning mode, but here's the wild part: they're planning completely in the dark. Imagine trying to build a championship roster without knowing the basic rules of the game. Right now, the Fever don't know what the 2026 salary cap will look like, whether core designations will still exist, what the expansion draft rules are, or even if players will be allowed to enter the WNBA draft earlier than 4 years out of college. That last one is huge. Most people don't even realize the WNBA still requires players to complete 4 years before declaring. If that changes, it could completely reshape the talent pipeline. Younger, more athletic players could enter the league sooner, transforming rosters overnight. Until then, the Fever front office has to stay ready for everything, with Plan A, Plan B, and probably Plan C through Z.
They can only do what they can. As most part, Fever coach Stephanie White stated that you get exhausted if you start thinking about what ifs, what can happen, what White stated. Right now, I'm just going to be where my feet are. And Chloe Peterson noted this at the bottom. Guys, as you can see, look like the Indiana Fever could be planning on bringing some overseas players to this roster. So right now,
and there it is, the core foundation of the Indiana Fever's future. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and DeWanna Bonner. Wait, correction. DeWanna Dantes, not Bonner. Those 3 are the only players currently under contract, which means everything else has to be built around them from scratch. Lexi Hall is a restricted free agent, so the Fever can match any offer she receives, and they absolutely should. Hall took a big leap last season, emerging as a reliable 3, and D. Wing, who fits seamlessly next to Clark's playmaking. Then there's Sophie Cunningham, an unrestricted free agent who's already expressed her desire to return. The Fever would be crazy not to make that happen. Her toughness, leadership, and shooting bring an edge this roster needs.